Hello again, Fleet Commanders. Tiberius here with another quick Star Trek Fleet Command video for you. Today's topic will be all things Borg. As you're progressing through into your mid-20s, you're going to start to hear about Borg space and the Vidar and all the things associated with that. So I want to do a quick video and just give you an idea of what to expect, what to prepare for. When you turn level 25, when you upgrade your ops to 25, uh, you should, at least some people did, I did, you'll start to get missions to do Borg space stuff, and including the ability to build the Vidar. The Vidar here is it is a non-faction ship, even though it looks like a Romulan ship. Mine's kind of glitched right now. I don't know why. It's got a Saladin merged in with it. That's weird. It's an interceptor class, and it has a huge bonus against Borg hostiles. Mine is currently tier 5. So as you can see, it's getting a pretty big boost to killing Borg ships. The Vidar, to get the blueprints for it, there are a few different ways. When the Borg event happened about 6 months ago, they were giving it out then. At the beginning of June-ish, mid-June of 2020, when I turned level 25, they gave me a mission. It basically, this is going to bother me. It basically said, let's see if I go back. Nope, still there. That's really weird. If I change ships. Nope, it wants to just overlap all my ships. What if I go back to my Saladin? This is just weird. When I turned level 25, it gave me a mission to earn blueprints for the Vidar. An event. It was a 7-day event, and I basically, in order to get enough points to hit the milestones to get the blueprints, had to upgrade every single building in my base. For spending 3-star resources on buildings, it gave you points. In order to get enough points to get the unlock everything, you basically had to upgrade every single building. So quite a bit of speed ups. All right, we're just gonna have to assume that this is just gonna be weird today. And it doesn't want to remove the Saladin. It's just gonna overlay them on top of each other. One of the recent updates they just did, they put more officers into the regular recruit packs now. So that's allowed you to get some of the Borg officers. Previously, those were only available during the Borg event. That happened, I think, back in April, which is about when I started playing the game. These particular Borg officers have a huge upgrades when taking on the Borg. This guy makes a very good captain. They're all something of something. I think they're all of 10. So this particular guy, 7 of 10. Has this ability. When fighting a Borg tactical probe, he has a 90% chance of increasing the number of shots of each weapon by 2. So that's not the damage, that's the number of times your weapon fires, which is huge. And then he also boosts the health of every officer on the ship by 60%. And then you pair him up with these other 2 uncommon Borg. She just, her captain's ability would be to decrease critical hit, not as big a deal. She increases the defense of everybody, and this should be the guy who increases the attack of everybody. Yeah, he increases the attack of everybody. And when you get them together, they have the right synergies, so they boost the captain's ability huge. Normally it's 20%, but now because of the right captain's abilities, it's 90% chance that I'm going to fire 2 extra shots during the round. And when you talk about having the ship ability, that makes my shots hit for 30 extra thousand points. A lot of the first level Borg ships, they have like 2 million hit points, as we'll see in here in a second. The Borg live behind these trans-warp barriers. These barriers are permanent. It's not like you just unlock it once like some of the other areas, like the augment space or whatnot. You need a trans-warp token to fly to them each time, and some of them take different tokens. But as we'll look here, the level 25 base systems pretty crowded. Our first level 25 base Borg tactical probes have 1.4 million strength. That's pretty huge. You compare that to, 200,000 for a basic Vidar that hasn't been tiered up or upgraded yet. and you're thinking to yourself, there's no way in heck I'm going to kill any of these things. Right? Remember, you've got, much like the Franklin, you've got a huge 10,000% damage bonus. And then if you have the right officers, which you can begin working on getting earlier through the different packs, so that way you're ready to throw them on your ship when your ship is built, you can do a lot more damage. The Borg, when you kill them, they give you these inert nanoprobes. Inert nanoprobes are used in the refinery, just another little sub faction, sub grind material. Borg tech. So inert nanoprobes get turned in, these things get turned into charged nanoprobes once a day. Depending on what tier your Vidar is how many nanoprobes it will cost and how many of these charged probes it will produce. At tier 5, my current cost is 25,000 of these inert ones get turned into 3,000 of the green cubes. You can also turn them into active nanoprobes, which are what you need to upgrade Borg officers. So much like everybody else needs credits and things, Borg officers get upgraded, promoted, using these probes. There's one other thing with Borg space we'll get back to in a second, and that's this Latinum antique thing. But I want to talk more about the Vidar for a second and just the upgrading it and the cost associated with it. So unlike the other faction, or the other one-trick ponies, like the Franklin and now the Discovery, that require their own limited specific resource to upgrade and maybe just some other common stuff. They also don't really seem to have much of a use outside of what they're good for. You're not really going to take the Franklin out to do much other than kill swarms with it. It just doesn't stack up. Tier 4, Tier 5 Franklin is 150,000 Explorer. Avoclis is much better than that at that tier. Um, if you're level 18 to level 20, all right, the Franklin might be a good bridge for you until you can get to some of the better ships. Same thing with the Discovery now at level 21. It's before you get to Avoclis, it could be a bridge ship for you as a lower level player, and of course that they're free, which is always a benefit. But the Vidar, as you can see, this is tier 5, and it's about a 400,000 attack ship. So it holds its own for a while, and other people have done videos ranking ships in the mid 20s, in terms of their different strength and their playability, and the Vidar holds up. It is an interceptor that you can take out and do other things with, and it gives you the ability possibly to not need to build things like the Mayflower or the Klingon or Romulan ships at the level 26. You can use the Vidar to kind of hold you over a little bit and maybe skip the 26s, wait till you're 28, and then build the Saladin and the Centurion. Other things about the Vidar. So we'll look at upgrading it, what's associated there. This is just really weird. So it starts off with pretty low health. It's one of the first things you'll notice about it when you get it at tier 1. The health on it is incredibly low, but it does get boosted right away by boosting the impulse engines and some of the other things. Do definitely go into the defense and the health of the ship. So it's gonna, the first 1 to 2 tiers, you're not going to be able to go out and kill as many things as you want. It's going to take a little longer to do that. But as you start to tier it up to tier 3, tier 4, your trips start to be longer and more profitable in terms of your farming for the nanoprobes. But when you get in the middle tiers, you start using 3-star resources. And this is where you have to prioritize, because your regular faction ships, plus your buildings, plus your researches, all of them seem to require crystal and gas, which are the same resources that your Vidar does. So at some point in time, unless they're doing Borg-specific events, you're going to hit into a little bit of a wall where you're probably just going to, okay, I've leveled it up. It's tier 4, it's tier 5. It's decent enough should a Borg event pop up. But, you don't want to keep sinking money into it over and over again, unless you're just that kind of person who just likes having every ship maxed out, because of the fact of the crystal cost. Crystal cost in this game is pretty intense. Um, Looking at what some of the ships all take to upgrade. But as you can see, I'm getting 3,000 of these nanoprobes a day. Oops. Please hold. It's the downside to mining faster. You go through these nodes pretty quick. But anywho, um, it's 3,000 nanoprobes a day, and a lot of them take 10, 15,000 nanoprobes to upgrade. So you'd only be able to do one point every 3 or 4 days. Again, like the Franklin, where it takes quite a while. Oh, don't do this now. Not this many people just hanging around. Come on. Come on. Okay. That one's going to be OPC in a few minutes. We're going to have to hurry this up. All right. So yeah, it's not the easiest ship to upgrade, and again, it kind of maxes out. But it is a good ship, and it does have at least more universal appeal than the Discovery, as we're learning, or the Franklin. But we'll talk about Borg space here. Each day in your gifts section, once you build the Vidar, you get the option to collect transwarp cells. You get 2 a day. The max capacity is 8, so you can't just keep stockpiling them up forever. But they give you 2 per day, so you can make 2 trips, which early on is exactly how many you'll be able to make. And there are different level Borg systems. The Metra systems here, these are all level 25s. They all require 1 transwarp token to get to. Those are about 1.4 million. The 26s here, those are 2 million. The 27s here are about 2.5 million. And then as you come up into this area of space, you get into some of the higher level ones, 31, 32. And here's some 28, 29s. So there are a couple of other things to keep in mind. Randomly in the lower level systems, you may come across a assimilated Ferengi miner. It will have the mining icon, and when you kill it, it gives you that scarab thing that I was mentioning briefly earlier. The scarab has a 5-day cooldown on the refinery. So I can't show you what it looks like right now because mine still has 3 days left on it. But you get one of these little jeweled scarab things. You get a 5-day cooldown, and it has a chance to give you a couple of different things. It can give you more generic transwarp tokens, or you might get lucky and get one of the rare transwarp tokens. The rare transwarp tokens unlock different, or temporarily allow you access to different systems, like Torrecedra, which has latinum mines in it. This will also let you take a peek at the Ferengi themselves, because this system is also full of Ferengi miners, assimilated Ferengi miners. And these particular ones, they're a little stronger than the regular one. The regular one's, 1.5 million, just like the other ships in the area, depending on its level. But this guy's 3 million, and instead of giving nanoprobes, his reward is raw latinum. They give about 4,500 to 5,000, 5,200 in this case, raw latinum, which you can collect until your max capacity and you're maxed out, which is about a day's worth, a double pull, 2 days worth maybe, depending on your level of your Devore and where your latinum refinery is at. So instead of mining for 10, 12 hours, if you happen to get a rare token, you can come here, make a good run, clear out some of these assimilated miners, load up your cargo, and head home for your refinery. There are also these giant Latinum nodes, 300 plus thousand in here. So if you were to send your Devore and use your token that way instead, you could park it on here and, mine until your heart's content. Most servers, looking at their standard rules of engagement, seem to have specific protections against attacking ships in zones that require transwarp tokens to get to. Um, Not all servers. Check with your server, whatever your rules are. And of course, you always have to be weary of people who just don't care about the rules and, they're just rogues and in it for themselves. But if you were to take a Devore here, especially during Latinum Rush or something, you could park it and just mine Latinum until you're full instead of having to do the back and forth and dumping cargo and coming back out. In theory, again, check your rules for your particular server, and of course, always be on the lookout for rogue players who just don't care, who just want to come in here, kill a whole bunch of OPC guys, steal their Latinum, and fly away. Um, it's less likely to happen because, of course, again, you're hitting your max capacities. But I guess if they took, a giant ship and sent it in here, if you took a Horizon or something like that, that's got 500,000 cargo space, and just flew around and picked off a couple of Devores, which are weaker level ships, you could, you know, make quite a haul for yourself before having to flee and giving up your token. The downside to that, of course, is any Vidars that are floating around in here killing these things could obviously see what you're doing and then just go kill you, and then you lose most of your loot. So don't be a jerk. Just be nice. Um, but that's, for the most part, that's the Borg. Different zones, the Vidar, it's kind of how it all works. And as I mentioned before, where's my recruit tab? They did recently, when they did their last update, did start adding a lot of these Borg officers to the different recruit packs now. So the Ultra Recruit Pack has some of the Epic Borg officers. You get 6 of 10. Ooh, this guy boosts mining speed. So if you were to put him on a miner, that'd be pretty increases defenses of your ship. Drops their shields. Has a nice boost to penetration values when firing at Armada targets. Okay, that's pretty good for Armadas. And then you get down into some of the rare ones that are also further down here. 7 of 10, that's the guy I was talking about. And then you've got this 1 of 10 guy who helps your shielding and also adds to the protected cargo of the ship. So he's a good guy to pop on miners and stuff as well. There in the Ultra Recruit and in the Premium Recruit, you do still have some of the other guys as well. Of course, you can still get the rares, although the chances are a little bit lower, as you're more likely to get some of these uncommon officers, 8 of 10, 9 of 10, who are still pretty good, as we mentioned before. So they're worth grabbing onto. I don't think they put any in the standard recruit, but I could be wrong. Let's take a peek. Nah, yeah, they didn't add any to the standard. But more access to the Borg, which is good. We had hoped that they would be doing a Borg event again sometime soon. But with the new acquisition of all the licenses, obviously they're focusing on the Discovery right now, and then I'm sure we'll get to some of the other shows. It's certainly possible if they get to like Next Generation or Voyager, which seem to have lots of interactions with the Borg, and 7 of 9, of course, there could be some more Borg-related content in those. But that's probably going to be further down the line. But, get your Vidar, do some leveling with it, do some grinding with it. It's a pretty decent ship for you. And thanks for watching. Be sure and tip your waitress. And you guys take care. Stay safe out there.